If we go back 3 months ago, Andrew, so, how were you feeling before you reached out for coaching?
Yeah, so before I reached out to to yourself, Maz, I was in a pretty bad state, really. I had a lot going on in my family. You know, training wasn't going very well. I had lost that vision. I had no self-confidence with my abilities on the bike, and it was hard work. Yeah, I mean, it's quite hard to talk about. Yeah, it was really difficult. Just a feeling of complete and utter uselessness to yourself. Like, I'd be training and I'd be telling myself I couldn't do it. Which is, again, going on to, chat with yourself. I was limiting myself massively. And before I reached out to you, it was difficult, and now it's easy. The clarity in my head has become so clear, and my performance on a massive. So yeah, it was a crappy place to be. Like I say, family issues, training issues, the amount of pressure I was under, coming into Oz, and the 2018 games, to defend my title. I suppose if people have said that, there was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure on myself, probably all self-inflicted, but I certainly felt it, and I was sort of backing myself into a corner, and there was, as far as I was aware, there was no way to get out. That's why I reached out to Maz.
Yeah. And going back again, like obviously 3 months ago, so like, what was your level of self-belief, and before going into the Invictus Games, having that sort of knowing that you was going into Invictus Games in 3 months' time, what was your level of self-belief before going through the coaching process?
Well, how I was going to celebrate, and it was a massive part of my training. It really drove and inspired to harder. Whereas this year I really struggled with that image. I could sit on the sofa and really try and focus on exactly how I want to picture it, and I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. And it sort of spiraled from there, really, to the point where I was on the bike and I was telling myself I couldn't do it. And 3 months to go, I had nothing in the tank. My performance was going downhill. My coach was starting to notice my performance was dropping. I was starting to notice my performance was dropping, which just wasn't helping myself. It was hard. It was really hard. And I didn't want to slip back into that state of depression, being unhappy with myself, being, and moving on. I think the issue needed to be addressed. That's why I reached out and did what I did.
How did that? What kind of things were you saying to yourself, knowing that the Invictus Games was coming up?
Well, one of the things with cycling is it's very numbers orientated. So, I know what I can achieve. My coach started to notice. It was just difficult, man. It was really difficult. I'd be on the bike and I would tell myself out loud that I couldn't do it. I cannot do this. And I think no matter how many times you tell yourself you can, when you're in that place, you can't. Because I'd already told myself that I couldn't. And later on, chatting with you, and we discovered that I was really limiting myself, and putting that on myself, and it wasn't helping.
Yeah.
And
because
I think so great working with you, Maz, was we developed trigger words, words that meant something to me. And whenever I'm struggling training, I can say these words, and they inspire me, and drive me and motivate me, and and I can see that picture again, and really clear cut words, just more than words, but they're just words. But it was amazing. It really was amazing. And as soon as I started saying those words, my performance not only went back to its original state, but it started to get better and better and better. And it goes to show, with the time trial that you recently came to, so my time trial time over a 10-mile course, my best time was 19 minutes 34 seconds, which is averaging just over 30 miles an hour. And I've just smashed that, absolutely destroyed that.
What impact did the coaching process have on yourself, Andrew?
So after the coaching, I started to see my results and my figures, not only sort of go back to them original selves, but they started to get better, better and better and better. And, that really showed for me. So I raced a 10-mile course on a time trial. My previous personal best was 19 minutes 34 seconds, which is an average speed of about 30 miles an hour, just over, I think. And since I've had the coaching, I've knocked that down to 19 minutes 17 seconds, which is a huge amount of time in racing, and I solely put that down to A, great physical coaching, but B, great mental coaching, and removing those mental blocks, removing anything that might have been holding me back, whether it be something that's happened in the past, or it was a massive relief. And when we were doing the session, feel the relief, and tension disappear. Your shoulders drop, and you become more comfortable with yourself, and you don't seem to worry about it. And that's certainly something with time trialing. It's you and a bike and a clock. There's no crowds. If you're suffering, you're going to suffer, and that's it. It's basically, you put yourself on a bike to suffer. I love it. But when you remove those mental blocks, and the suffering becomes easier.
So in regards to cycling, like I know in running, we have the brick wall. And as I learned from your good self, in cycling, it's called the bonk. So could you give us a little bit of an insight to how you worked with the bonk in cycling and what we did together?
Sure. So one of the things that Maz and I did was we spoke about the bonk, which is a state where a cyclist just has nothing left. There is just nothing left, and it's just pure pain, uncomfortableness. It's not fun. It's not fun, but it's something that if you're going to be a top level athlete, or be good at your sport, then it's something that you have to endure. And one of the things that Maz and I did was we ran through my self-conscious picture of the bonk, and what my brain thought what I thought it looked like. We ran through everything. What will the picture look like? We described everything that it was in the picture, and we then ran through what the complete opposite of the bonk was. And I share it with you. For me, it was winning my gold medal. And hearing the crowds cheer, and this clear, very, very clear, picture of Canada. It was just a fantastic time, and we transformed everything from those two pictures to make the bonk picture. We changed it. It's the best way I can describe it. And the next time I rode and I experienced, that pain and that uncomfortableness, it wasn't so bad. You might think it's hard to believe, but I could have been riding for 6 hours, 100 miles.